When your children no longer respect you, what should you do? There comes a stage in life when you suddenly realize the position between you and your children is no longer the same. From being the guide, the one who sacrificed, the one who always put your children first, now you gradually become someone ignored. Your advice isn't heard, your opinions are dismissed, and sometimes you even feel like a burden in the eyes of the very children you once cherished with all your heart. That feeling hurts deeply, and it's perfectly natural if you feel wounded. Feel the urge to remind them of everything you've sacrificed. But anger and blame only make the distance grow. Instead of arguing, choose silent strength. Transform yourself, not to please your children, but to reclaim the position you deserve. In this video, you'll discover 6 simple yet powerful actions that can help you regain respect, gently but firmly. 1. Stop trying to please your children, or you'll lose yourself. There's a painful truth many parents don't want to admit. The more you try to please your children, the more likely you are to be taken for granted. Sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? You love them. You sacrifice everything for them. You're willing to ignore your own needs as long as they're happy. But that unlimited sacrifice, if not accompanied by clear boundaries, will make you disappear. Remember, love should not come with the denial of self. When you say yes, while your heart wants to say no, when you suppress your opinions for fear of upsetting them, or when you constantly reshape yourself to match their schedule, emotions, or expectations, you are unknowingly sending the message, my feelings don't matter. And once your children believe that, respect will quietly fade away. Self-respect creates respect. You don't need to shout to reclaim your place. You simply need to start honoring yourself. Say no when you're tired. Speak your mind, even when your children disagree. Hold firm to your boundaries, that you are a person, not a quiet shadow in their lives. A father or mother who knows their worth will always command respect, even from their children, because you don't beg for love. You don't chase approval. You don't need permission to be valued. A small change, that makes a big difference. I once knew a mother named Lon, a typical Vietnamese woman, hard-working, self-sacrificing, loving her children more than herself. But as she aged, she increasingly felt abandoned. Whenever her children called, she dropped everything to see them. She cooked, cleaned, did everything, even without being asked. And in return, coldness, even disregard. Until one day, she changed. She started saying no to unreasonable requests. She refused to be a free chauffeur or unpaid helper. She took painting classes, spent time with friends, did things that brought her joy. And then, something amazing happened. Her children began to listen, ask questions, and genuinely spend time with her. Not because she complained, but because she no longer chased approval. You deserve to be loved, not because you give everything up, but because you know how to love yourself. And when you stand firm, your children will learn to respect you, naturally. 2. If you want respect, don't argue. Set an example. When children start acting disrespectfully, interrupting, disregarding your views, even mocking your input, many parents' first reaction is to argue. They try to prove they're right, to remind their children of everything they've done, to demand to be heard. But the truth is, arguing doesn't earn respect. It only deepens the divide. Think back. When was the last time a heated argument made your child truly understand you? Or did it only leave both sides exhausted and hurt? Respect doesn't come from words, but from presence. It's not something you demand aloud, but something you earn through how you live, how you respond, and how you carry your dignity. Instead of getting angry or trying to win the debate, try this. Stay calm when disrespected. Stop over-explaining when they aren't really listening. Respond briefly, clearly, with quiet strength. By refusing to get pulled into pointless arguments, you're showing your children, by action, how respectful communication looks. The story of a father. I once knew a father named Min, a retired teacher, once highly respected in his classroom. But in his own family, his children ignored him. They cut him off when he gave advice, dismissed his stories and experiences. At first, he got angry. He tried to argue, to reason his way back into respect. But the more he pushed, the more tension grew. Then one day, he changed. He stopped bickering. He listened more. And when he spoke, it was calm, firm, clear. No shouting, no blame. Just a father living by his own principles. And gradually, his children started paying attention. Not because he raised his voice, but because he became someone they wanted to emulate. Lesson: if you want your children to respect you, don't fight for it. Be the person who naturally commands it by how you live, speak, and handle silence. 3. Stop being emotionally dependent on your children. Happiness is yours to create. As a parent, loving your children unconditionally is not wrong, but there's a thin line between love and emotional dependence. Many seniors fall into disappointment when their children grow up, get busy, and become less attentive. You start longing for a phone call, a message, or just a bit of attention. And when it doesn't come, you feel hurt, ignored, even resentful. But the painful truth is, the more you rely on your children to feel valuable, the more they pull away. Emotional dependence creates pressure, not connection. When your children sense that your happiness hinges on their presence, it becomes a subtle burden. Calls feel like obligations. Visits turn into duties. You don't need to cut off love, but you do need to reclaim emotional independence. Remember, you are a whole person. You don't need someone else's presence to live fully. Create your own joy. Instead of waiting by the phone, call a friend. Instead of hoping they'll visit, go somewhere that brings you joy. Learn something new. Take up a hobby. Join a club. Or simply walk among flowers. When you're content with your own life, your children will start respecting you more. Not because of what you do for them, but because you've become an independent, vibrant role model. Final thought: don't let your emotions be dictated by someone else's calendar. The more emotionally self-reliant you are, the more your children will want to come to you. Not out of duty, but out of love. 4. Parents need boundaries, not to create distance, but to be respected. One of the biggest reasons children lose respect for their parents isn't because they're bad, but because parents allow it. You might think, it's okay, I'll let it go, they're my children. You overlook when they raise their voice, interrupt you, or dismiss your feelings. Over time, those small moments become normal. And you, once the pillar, become someone quietly brushed aside. Respect doesn't come from tolerance. It comes from clear boundaries. Boundaries say, I deserve better treatment. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you love your children less. It simply means defining what you will accept and what you won't. If your child interrupts, say, I'll continue when you're ready to listen. If your opinion is dismissed, reply, you don't have to agree, but I expect respect. If disrespect continues, calmly state, if this keeps up, I won't continue the conversation. Boundaries only matter if you enforce them. Many parents set boundaries, but don't follow through. They get soft-hearted, let things slide, and those boundaries become empty words. Be consistent. When you stand firm in how you want to be treated, your children will start taking you seriously. And from that moment, respect begins to return. Remember, the way others treat you is something you teach them every day. If you don't stand up for yourself, don't expect anyone else to do it for you. 5. Stop giving when you're not appreciated. Love is not a duty. As parents, you've grown used to giving. Time, money, energy, sacrifice. You give out of love, not expecting repayment. But there's a thin line between kindness and being taken for granted. If you keep giving unconditionally to people who never thank you, who expect it as normal, then respect for you will fade. When kindness becomes a habit, it loses its value. You help your children every time they need it, without question. Even when tired, you're there. But one day you realize, no more thank you, no more appreciation. And when you need help, they're too busy. And you ask, where did I go wrong? The issue isn't your love. It's that you never placed boundaries on your giving. Kindness must have limits to be valued. When you start saying no, not out of selfishness, but to demand fair treatment, you're teaching your children, my help is a gift, not an obligation. At first, they may resist, complain, misunderstand. But slowly, when you're no longer always there, They will begin to appreciate every gesture. Don't hesitate to pull back when kindness is taken for granted. If you find yourself giving too much, ask, do they feel grateful? Do they respect your time and energy? Or do they expect, but not value what you offer? Final thought. Kindness is only noble when it's met with gratitude. If that's missing, take a step back, not to sever ties, but to teach people how to love you the right way. 6. Don't revolve around your children. Build a life of your own. One thing no one teaches us as we age. Your children are not the sole center of your world. You spent your youth raising them, caring for every meal and sleep. But eventually, they have their own lives, their own priorities. If you continue living just to orbit them, you'll be left behind emotionally and spiritually. When you have no life of your own, you become an emotional burden. Many parents, after retirement or the loss of a spouse, pour all attention and emotion into their children, calling daily, checking in constantly, giving unsolicited advice, waiting anxiously for messages. And when responses are fewer, you feel abandoned. But the truth is, when you lack your own world, you unintentionally create a sense of obligation. Live a full life, without needing anyone's permission. You have every right to enjoy life, to learn new things, to dress well, go out, do what brings you joy. At 60, 70, or beyond, join a book club, learn to dance, paint, or travel, volunteer, make new friends, share stories. Do whatever reminds you you're living, not just existing. When you're happy, your children will respect you more. An independent, joyful parent with their own spark is magnetic. Your children will want to connect, out of admiration, not duty. No need to call them constantly. No need to beg. Just live brilliantly, and they'll come to you. Final message. Love doesn't mean giving up your life for others. You deserve a full, meaningful life, with or without your children's constant presence. And that alone will earn you genuine respect, not pity. When your children no longer respect you, stop demanding, start inspiring. You cannot force your children to respect you, but you can inspire that respect, naturally and powerfully. Stop chasing their approval. Stop arguing, be the example. Withdraw emotional dependence. Set firm boundaries. Stop giving without gratitude. And above all, build your own full, independent life. When you begin living with self-worth, joy, and strength, your children will naturally shift the way they see you. Not because you asked, but because you are worthy. You deserve to be respected, not because of how much you sacrificed, but because you know how to honor yourself. Comment below. I choose to start again for myself, to commit to your new life. Subscribe now to receive more videos that inspire and empower you.